Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent and here are the top stories. Bandits kill 3 security operatives in Nasarawa attack. Federal government to absorb retired military officers for community policing. Tanko reviews 7 parties lobbying Obi ahead of 2027 elections, and Zamfara APC accuses politicians of hiring thugs to disrupt Matawali's visit. Details now. Thank you for staying tuned. The news at 12 begins with a tragic development where no fewer than 3 security operatives were reportedly shot dead on Wednesday by suspected bandits in Idadu Agbashi development area of Doma local government area of Nasarawa state. VOP News gathered that the victims were a police officer attached to the Agbashi police division and 2 vigilante members who were carrying out a joint patrol when they were ambushed. Community sources disclosed that the operatives were on routine patrol along the Doma Idadu road when the gunmen suddenly opened fire on them. The source said the attackers operated with commando-style precision, shooting at their victims without provocation or any attempt at negotiation. The incident adds to the escalating wave of violence in the area, as no fewer than 7 persons have been killed in neighboring Kiana and Doma communities within the past week. The bandits, said to be heavily armed, have continued to terrorize residents across the region in repeated attacks. The killings come despite recent assurances by the Nasarawa state government that it has intensified security operatives to curb the renewed wave of attacks. However, residents say no suspects have been arrested since the killings began, sparking widespread fear and frustration. Residents also say the persistent attacks, coupled with the lack of arrest, are signs of a worsening security situation requiring urgent and decisive action. Meanwhile, the federal government says all arrangements have been made to engage military veterans for community policing with a view to reclaiming ungoverned spaces where the terrorists and bandits are hibernating. It revealed that the retired officers would be absorbed under a new initiative tagged Reclaiming the Ungoverned Space for Economic Benefits Program, RUSEB-P. The Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru, disclosed this to journalists in Abuja on Wednesday at a press briefing to mark the formal commencement of activities for the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day and celebration. He said the program is strategically designed to leverage the expertise of retired, agile military veterans to restore security and promote economic development in previously insurgent-occupied areas. He said a dedicated committee is currently finalizing the implementation framework. According to him, the strategic vision extends beyond immediate support, encompassing the long-term, impactful engagement of seasoned veterans. In a recent development, the national coordinator of the Obidient movement, Tanko, has dismissed claims that the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has abandoned the party, insisting that the former Anambra governor remains a bona fide member of the Labour Party. Tanko spoke in an interview with a daily newspaper where he also revealed that no fewer than 7 political parties, including the People's Democratic Party (PDP), are lobbying Obi to run on their platform ahead of the 2027 elections. He noted that despite the rumor mills, Obi has not defected from the Labour Party. According to him, the level of interest in Obi has forced him to carefully study all political options before deciding on his next move, responding to accusations that Obi had failed to manage the internal crisis in the Labour Party. Tanko said those leveling such claims are the very people sponsoring chaos within the opposition party. He insisted that the Labour Party was engineered by external infiltrators who were determined to destabilize the party ahead of 2027. He cited several examples of alleged sabotage, including the controversy over letters reportedly sent to INEC from within the party. Meanwhile, the director of mobilization for the Obidient movement, Maurice Monye, has resigned his role in the group, lamenting Peter Obi's lack of commitment to the movement. Monye, who claimed he spent approximately 40 million naira on the movement, announced his resignation in a statement shared today, less than a month after 2 top members of the group in the diaspora jumped the Obidient movement. Mr. Monye said that despite his contribution to the Obidient movement, Obi, the beneficiary of the movement, has shown no commitment or maintained good communication with the directorate he heads. heads. In October, two top members of the diaspora group, David Ogola, Director of Diaspora Engagement at the Obidient Movement, and Bolanle Emiabata Anibaba, co-director, left the group. They noted that given a series of manipulative and self-destructive events, they decided to decouple themselves from the present configuration of the structure of the Obidient Movement and its directorate. In the meantime, former Senate President Bukola Saraki has called for the immediate cancellation of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) National Convention scheduled to hold this week in Ibadan, Oyo State. Saraki said the event should not go ahead due to conflicting court rulings that have cast doubt on its legality and credibility. He warned that proceeding with the convention would only worsen the internal crisis rocking the party. In a statement released after meeting with members of the PDP Board of Trustees reconciliation team, Saraki said he could not in good conscience take part in any process that might further divide the party or endanger the aspirations of its members. The former Senate President urged the party to set up a caretaker committee within the next 2 days to take charge of its affairs temporarily. According to him, this would help restore unity and confidence among party members ahead of future elections. The Zamfara State chapter of the All Progressives Congress (APC) has alleged that some politicians have hired gun-wielding thugs to disrupt the planned visit of the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, to the state. The party's publicity secretary Yusuf Idris disclosed this while briefing journalists in Guzau on Wednesday. He said the alleged plan was aimed at distracting from Matawale's homecoming event scheduled for Thursday. According to him, the APC had made adequate arrangement to receive the minister, who is expected to meet party leaders, members and supporters in Guzau and his hometown, Maradun. He claimed that some thugs had been hired to attack the minister's convoy and cause chaos along the Guzau-Maradun route, particularly around Safe. The party, however, cautioned its members to remain law-abiding and avoid carrying weapons during the visit. He also called on security agents to take note of the alleged plot and ensure that anyone found attempting to cause unrest is arrested and handed over to law enforcement authorities. In a very recent development, the federal government has suspended the implementation of the proposed 15% import tax on petrol and diesel. This was announced in a statement today by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA). The statement, signed by the Authority's Director of Public Affairs Department, George Eneita, also assured Nigerians that there is an adequate supply of petroleum products in the country during the peak demand period of the incoming Yuletide. The authority advised members of the public against holding, panic buying, or other non-market-driven escalation of petroleum prices. You will recall that President Bola Tinubu had approved a 15% import duty on diesel and petrol. President Tinubu had approved the request in a letter dated October 21, 2025, after the FIRS requested that the 15% duty be applied to the cost, insurance and freight to align import costs with domestic realities. You're currently listening to the news at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm now being joined by Mr. Awa Omiko of the Sunday editorial desk for the analysis segment of the news this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today, and good afternoon to you, Mr. Awa Omiko. It's always a pleasure whenever we get to have these conversations. How are you doing today?
Fine.
Mr. Awa, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Awa Omiko, can you hear me?
Yes. Good day to you.
Good day to you as well. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Let's actually begin with Peter Obi, one of the coordinators of the Obidient movement. That is actually the person who is in charge of the director of mobilization for the Obidient movement. The person who is in charge of mobilizing for the group has left the group. He resigned his role in the group. Just this morning, he put out a statement lamenting that Peter Obi is not committed to the movement. He said he had spent about 40 million naira of his own personal money, approximately 40 million naira of his own personal money, on the movement, on mobilization, but that Peter Obi has not shown any seriousness. He's not shown any commitment. He's not shown that he actually wants the group to work. Now, we know that before the 2023 elections, a lot of people rallied around him. People used their personal monies. People were going about for grassroots mobilization. People were talking to others and campaigning for him. What would you say about this? Because just last month, we saw two people who were coordinators in the diaspora also resigning and then saying he's not showing commitment at all. Right now, Obi seems to be losing a lot of supporters because they say he is not exactly acting in the way that they expect him to act?
Well, I wouldn't want Peter Obi to be a flash in the pan anyway. But the issue remains that in a place where he's not showing any commitment to the movement, that means he's trying to play some of the games of hello.
I'm with you, Mr. Awamiko.
If truly that Obi is not showing any commitment in the Obidient movement, automatically is playing to fail. Because in this, you can see that there are a lot of following, there are a lot of people following him, and if truly what the party steward has just pointed out is the fact, that means LP has no future, because if the head refuses to play its role as the head, what happens to the tail?
Mr. Awamiko, right now it is not about the Labour Party but Peter Obi himself. You know, quite a number of people who belong to the Obidient movement, they are supporters of Obi, not supporters of the Labour Party. These are the people who are saying even if he moves to the ADC, right now he's part of the coalition but he has not resigned his membership of the Labour Party. They say whichever party he goes to, even if he joins a new political party today, they will join him. So these are people who are following Obi for the man that he is and not because he's part of the Labour Party. But now they are saying that they are tired. Now I want to read a part of this statement that was put out by Maurice Money at about 8:31 a.m. this morning. He said he has been harassed, his businesses have been harassed by people by sympathizers and instrument of this government. He says this role has put a target on his back, that it is mostly optics and no work, that the long-term and short-term goals, the short-term, medium-term and long-term plans have not been met, the goals have not been actualized, and so it almost feels like a waste of time for him being a part of the movement.
You see what, Maureen? That's what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. Either Peter Obi or Labour Party. Peter Obi is the image of Labour Party. Let me tell you. Let us stop all this deception of wherever Peter Obi goes, they go. Nigerian party has been segmented, politicalized by regions, and because of the regions, Peter Obi seems to be a little bit neutral because of what is going on in the country. I put it to you that if Peter Obi goes to APC, that he will not have as much following as he's having. Anyway, that may be another line of discussion in some other time. The point in now is that to be of Labour Party refuses to show commitment. He is playing to fail. I repeat myself, he is playing to fail, and that shows there will be no future for him to ascend to presidency, because where you put your pressure is where your mind is, and that is one. And secondly, if you look at the exigency of Peter Obi, how he has accused people of not keeping proper accounting, of not keeping proper accounts of how they've been spending money, that may actually have a telling effect on the man Peter Obi. Because Peter Obi wants things to be spent out the way it should be. But if you are talking of money, he is not pumping money. I think it's because of the party not having the due procedure of a party. Because if clearly they have all the architecture, all the network, all the ways of raising money and spending money, I think there'll be that issue of putting money into the party will actually be well spelled out. And I believe it's like he's taking his time so that he wouldn't be spending amiss. If you look at his exigencies and you look at the way he does his things, it's like he's a very prudent person and wants proper accountability of whatever thing he's doing. Maybe that's as it means. It does not mean that by now, with his previous experience, he wouldn't have known where to put his money and who to trust and who not to trust. If up till now they are still struggling on in terms of the structure and how to put things and how to spend money and get money, I believe it shows Maureen is just trying to tell us that the party is not yet serious. And I hope what happens to PDP will not happen to them. Thank you.
All right, then, Mr. Omiko, you don't want to divide Peter Obi from the Labour Party because you believe that they are one and the same.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Here is something else that Maurice Moye said in the statement he put out on Twitter this morning. He says, no money was given to the Directorate of Mobilization. There is no bank account for the Directorate. In fact, Mr. Peter Obi has never asked what we are doing in mobilization. Nothing of such, no communication. I spent my personal money because I believe the movement as a vehicle for a new Nigeria, and I don't expect to get any repayment back. If indeed Peter Obi has never asked the people who are mobilizing for him, people who are doing the groundwork, people who are talking to Nigerians to vote for him, what they are doing and how they are doing what they are doing. We've seen him going around donating monies to institutions, schools, hospitals. If he talks about how he wants to engender a new Nigeria, and he's not really putting his money where his mouth is, I mean, how will that work for him?
That is what we talk about structure. If the structure has been, and even the structure that brought him to play, what was first out for him, and how has he been able to embed in that structure? If the if the structure is faulty, there's no way you can actually correct it at a time, like this. If the structure should have been able to spell out how money comes in, how it goes. In a case where there's no credible structure, the person there may just be there dancing aloof, and I don't want to believe he's dancing aloof because he ought to have started spending. And if he's not spending, how about all the movements he has been moving and he has been going around for? How about all the places he has been visiting and people he has been talking to about his presidency? If all these things are just not happening, or maybe properly taking place as a result of not having the expected structure or the much needed structure, it's like it will be just like a flash in the pan. And the earlier he corrects this, the better. Because by the time Maureen is trying to flood, he said that he has been putting his personal money. If Maureen is not a Father Christmas, because if what he's saying is the truth, it means if LP goes into power, Maureen must look a way to recover the money he has.
All right, Mr. Omiko, his name is Morris Moye.
You said?
His name is Morris, not Maureen.
Okay, sorry, Morris Moye. I said if we have gone in there, if it will be goes in there, you will see that Morris would in one way or the other trying to recover all the money he has spent, and that will not be too good for governance, and that will not be too good for his candidature. And Obi by now should have been able to call all the officers together and begin to put things in place. I know how to raise money. I know how to spend it. I know who is to hold for who and for what. I know what it means because for you to beat a champion or a sitting governor, a sitting government, you have to be twice better than they do in terms of money, in terms of personality, in terms of ideas, and in terms of policy, and even in terms of rejigging the government. P2B should not have allowed what has made other leaders to go down to happen to him. I believe he's one of the people, one of the candidates people are looking forward to. And
would you say he's disappointing his followers, Mr. Omiko?
Yes.
Would you say he's disappointing his followers?
I wouldn't say that yet, because Maurice has only told us what he has been doing. I wouldn't say that yet until it is properly spelled out. It's like what Maurice has just done is like leaking a secret, and until Obi himself, until he wants to be accountable to say, boss, how can we do this spending? This is what is on ground. How can we put the money?
Do they have to ask him though before he will know what to do? Do they have to ask him? This is almost as if he's just expecting Nigerians to take him serious. But without the groundwork, can Nigerians take him serious? While we're talking about this, all right, please land on your thoughts.
In party and in politicking, in politics, party politics and politicking, there is always room for discussion. There's always room. You will see reports that so person has put in this amount. There's always room for that. It's not a room, and I don't want to believe that LP is divided by this type of information. If there is no room for discussion, if there is no room for platforms where money can be raised and spent, I doubt no party structure in Nigeria can move forward without spending and without investment. And all the whole candidates, all the whole candidates know of this. Thank you.
Maybe he has said it before that he know they give shishi, but you would think that if he's really serious about being president of Nigeria, he would be ready to put his money where his mouth is and make sure that the people who are mobilizing for him have enough to go by. Now, still on Obi and the Obidient movement and the Labour Party, actually, the national coordinator of the Obidient movement, that is Yunusat Tanko, has come out to reveal that 7 parties are lobbying for Obi to be the presidential flag bearer ahead of the 2027 election. He also said that it is not true that Obi has left the Labour Party, that he's still a member of the Labour Party until he says otherwise, right? But if he's still a member of the Labour Party, with all of the issues happening within the party, but now we've seen people leaving the Obidient movement, what exactly are his chances? A lot of Nigerians are saying they're not seeing that seriousness in the opposition, that this opposition is all back and no bite. They just talk and talk and talk and have no action. That Omoyele Sowore seems to be the only opposition that is really a thorn in the flesh of this current government. So what exactly are his chances in 2027? If by now people are already dropping off the movement, if Nigerians don't know where he belongs, even though he says he's still a member of the Labour Party, he said after the Anambra elections, he will let Nigerians know the party he is joining. How come he actually does that now so that people can know where he stands, so that they can know how to stand with him?
You see, we're still Africans. In fact, let's just say Nigerians. Let me not say Africa. Let me say Nigeria. We are still far from having acquired political education. Our level of politicization is very low, and that is why in countries, in a situation where you see the likes of Obi, will expect people to come, maybe fund this campaign and all that, but yet he goes about gravitating, spending on charity and without spending on the party. That is he has a very porous and poor political orientation. That is not how party formation is done, and that is not how campaigning and politicking is done. You see, from the grassroots, you groom the people from the grassroots, and you make them pay that certain token onto that. But here we only appoint people based on their personality. Oh, it is Atiku come. Oh, it is Obi come. Oh, it is this come. We don't groom them, and because we don't groom them, that is why somebody will today be an APC and tomorrow be a PDP and the next day be Labour Party. It's because that political education is nil. It's non-existent. And the bride, maybe the candidates, will all of a sudden think they are pride of Barbados, which we shouldn't be. You see, the likes of Obi should be made to understand that people wanted a change, and that is why they see him as being credible. If he is standing on the so gathered masses or population he has gathered so far and think he can move from one place to another, let him not be deceived that the very moment he is jibed, the very moment he leaves that policy, he becomes an abandoned candidate. That is one thing Obi should know. And Obi shouldn't see himself that because he now belongs to the 7 parties wanting to be the presidential candidate, that is the best and the most beautiful prize. That is not it. The issue remains that how much has he been able and how far and how well has he been able to maintain LP? Because by virtue of what you do, add to your credence and pedigree. If he has failed to maintain and to build up LP, there is no party will accept him. Others may be lowering him to make him fail and make LP not to be the opposition party of the day. And besides, when it comes to opposition party in Africa, especially in Nigeria, there's nothing like opposition, because I keep on saying it and will keep on repeating it, because all the politicians are nothing but jobbers. Many of them are hungry and can't do without staying in the winning party. If you put most of them in opposition party, they will die of hunger. Why? Because most of them see politics as a place to make money, not as a place for service. In the real political orientation and political education and political training, you see politics as a service to the people, and until you begin to have that, we will go nowhere. And that is why our development and economy is still at a snail speed, and we are still calling all politicians who want to go there to make money, and they see it as a ground of making money and enriching themselves. Until we change that orientation, the likes of Ubi, or people will not say I'm NC today, tomorrow I'm the next party, won't come to play. And that is why what is happening in LP is happening today. No funding for the party, no structure, no we are still having a crisis within the party. And until we begin to build that and build on our political education, we will go nowhere. And it is a very bad image on our democracy. Thank you.
All right, then let's look at the crisis within another opposition political party, which is the PDP. It's supposed to be one of Nigeria's main opposition parties, but they seem so embroiled in their own inter-party crisis that they are not exactly positioning the way Nigerians expect them to position right now. The former president of the Nigerian Senate, that is Bukola Saraki, has come out to say that the PDP should not hold its convention. They should cancel the convention and bring up a caretaker committee to steer the affairs of the party. He says no serious politician right now can contest under the party. The convention is scheduled to hold in about 2 days. It's supposed to hold November 15 and 16. The PDP says it will hold that convention no matter what the court is saying. The court has said they should not hold that convention. The PDP, like I said earlier, is right now the party, it's a lot of issues within the party, from who's the national chairman to who's the national secretary to who's actually funding the party. It's a lot of issues. How can the PDP come out of this in time for 2027 elections? This is November 2025. By January 2026, politicians and political parties will be gearing up for campaign season.
This PDP failed to manage their success when they were in power, and up to today, they have still not been able to come out to find out within themselves why they are failing. They have too many captains, too many leaders within themselves, and each of them wants to be heard, wants to be at the center, wants to be at the stage. No one wants to stand for each other. They have too many people fighting for the downfall of the party, and that is not good for a progressive party. What I will advise, my advice for PDP is, let them go inward, look inward, and truly rejig their system, truly rejig their start. They got it on in 2023, that's from 2015 or today, when they ceased to be in power. And they have failed to attack, to look at the major issues of bringing power to the south. All the time, north. If all parties are crying south, PDP will be crying north. That is not it. You should be able to listen to your people. They have failed to listen to their people. And the so-called PDP, all these things is just happening by few people holding it to ransom. And look at how their elements, how members are moving from leaving the party to another. They were much more better than the APC in terms of formation, in terms of structure, in terms of funding, in terms of everything you could call political party. At least once upon a time, countries from across West Africa were coming to PDP to emulate the power system and the power formation and how to run the political party. There was a time like that until the power egos within them were distracted. And ever since, they have failed to come back to look inward to correct it. Except until they do that, no credible politician. In fact, either you raise a Kolemado, Umabara, Adofoso, or whatever, to look into to be the chairman or whatever, they will never succeed because they are failed to look into the real cause of the crisis within it. Look at what Wike did, and Wike went away with it. And Wike shows that Wike alone is even stronger than the party. Can that ever can a finger be stronger than the body? No, but they allowed him because of money. That what will he have done? And now APC is riding on the strength and the power of Wike to get others and to dance lap to victory. Up to date, PDP has still not got its artist, has still not been able to put its house in order. And until they do that, there will be no headway for them. They are just wasting the time, Nigerians their time, trying to shoot themselves as they are able. Let them stop deceiving Nigerians and go back home to do the needful onto their party. Thank you.
Let's quickly look at the federal government suspending the 15% import tax on petrol. This was after President Tinubu had actually approved the FIRS request for this 15% import tax, saying that it should be applied to the cost, insurance and freight in order to align the cost of import with domestic realities. Many Nigerians were already afraid that they would have to pay much more money for petrol per litre starting from the year 2026, although we're already looking forward to a lot of other tax that we're expecting due to the adjusted tax policies that happened in this year. Are you happy about the fact that this has been suspended, or do you expect it to be reintroduced in another way? Because many Nigerians say sometimes when things like this happen, they introduce a policy and then withdraw it for some time, that it means they're trying to test the waters to see just how accepted Nigerians are of these policies.
Definitely it is good, because one thing that often happens to the Nigerian government is that when they tell you they have withdrawn certain tax and they through another means implement such tax and even bring it underground, make it undermount. I agree, it is one of the ways to test waters. They are actually doing that, but what must we still relying on importation when we have a Dangote? We go abroad, we study the economics of Britain, America, India, China, all these developed and developing countries. We study that, and yet we come back, we want to implement it. Do you know that all of them have on substitution effect? They have on substitution effect. How much of our substitution effect have we been able to implement? We have a Dangote. Why can't we support Dangote and stop this oil importation? Dangote can supply us. If he cannot supply the whole of Nigeria, I think he can supply 40 or 50% of the oil used by some states in this country. Then with that, we are substituting. And when we substitute, we make the price will fall, because those people we are buying from will see, we know that you have it, and any shakara they do, you see from them. India did it, China did it, Japan they did it. Even these so-called developing countries, you can't talk with any company from their country and they keep quiet. Look at MTN. If Nigeria does anything with MTN, you see the government of South Africa coming to judge us with the country. Why is it so? Because they believe they follow policy with foreign companies. They send these companies ahead of time as their diplomats, a form of diplomacy. So that's what is called economic diplomacy, and we're not doing that. And that is why cost of goods and services are on the increase in the Nigerian system, because some of these things we have are known as what is called imported inflation. Those people will bring the cost, will put it together, and you form it as form of taxation and come to this to the people. If we support Dangote, repair the NNPC refineries, and you see importation will come. Let us take away the rats, cockroaches and mosquitoes, and the middlemen that suck the naira and make things difficult for people. If you can face them squarely, remove them, things will come down. Because our economy, our naira is petrol naira. If we don't work on our petrol naira, we will not be able to have a good economic system. I so much support the removal of taxes, but saying you are pushing it to insurance or whatever means is another way of maintaining it. You just take it off and let it go up. If need be, push it on Dangote and monitor him. Dangote has started selling out, has started exporting. What is he exporting? Which means he has assets to export, and that asset is what we have failed to get from him. You know, are you saying the US don't have petrol? They have, not more than us, but they still import. But what are they doing to their home country? They are only supporting them, and why they are looking out for foreign markets. Please, Nigerian government should jettison politics. We shouldn't look at where the person comes from. We should jettison politics in the economy and make sure that we do the right thing. Let them go to supply us. How much of his oil can we get? How much of our refineries can we put in place and let things work? And things can work. I believe oil can be sold at 500 per liter in this country if we do if we do the right thing. If for less, and
it did sell for less than that for a number of years. Petrol has sold for 65 naira per liter in this country. But for 1 minute, because we are fast running out of time, I want you to speak on the federal government concluding plans to bring Nigerian military veterans to be involved in community policing, because they believe that this will reduce incidences of terrorism and actually reduce widespread banditry in the country. But some Nigerians are concerned that, look, the reason why people have retired is because it seems that they can no longer actively physically be on the field, or will these people be in administrative positions? Many Nigerians are asking that's what it is. But do you believe that it makes sense to bring back our retired military officers to be involved in community policing, whether in administrative positions or if they have to be on the field?
Well, it is long overdue. Once you are military, you are military. Once you are a soldier, you are a soldier. They say soldier never die. It is long overdue. Bring them in, let them run the local security architecture. Let them handle the local security architecture because they are trained for it. Even if they don't have the physical strength to do 100 meters per 30 minutes, they have the wherewithal, they have the knowledge to put things in order. Have you ever bothered that who are those that trained the commandos during the Civil War? Who are those that are training the bandits? Have you ever bothered to find out? And mind you, we have a lot of expertise. Some of these military were retired when they were, some of these military personnel were retired when they were 45, 50. And you look at, we still have some of them, 45, 50 they are retired, 60 they are retired. So don't think they are old. And at least we still have some of them being at the administrative command in some places. Would you say retired Brigadier General Mawa is not performing in the drug section or sector, and the NENDELA? Are you saying he's not performing? He is. But he's a retired military officer. So there could be others like him. They are all over the place. When you bring them out, if you can't use their strength, let us use their techniques. Let us use their ideas to make sure that we check this insecurity. We have them, and I believe it's a very good policy, and it should be implemented. Because these people know how to teach, know how to fire, and could read the problems in the air, and even participate in making sure that things that Boko Haram or whatever security mission or whatever group wants to come up, they know how to quell them, they know how to handle them, and I believe they should be put in place. It's a welcome idea. Thank you for Mr. President for that.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mr. Awamiko, for joining me on the news at 12 this afternoon. I do appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have been listening to the news at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that bandits have killed 3 security operatives in a Nasarawa attack. Federal government to absorb retired military officers for community policing. Yunusa Tanko reveals 7 parties lobbying Obi ahead of 2027, and Zamfara APC accuses politicians of hiring thugs to disrupt Matawali's visit. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.